Welcome into Clippers Countdown as your LA Clippers are in game 2 of this 3-game road trip and on the front end of a back-to-back starting in Brooklyn against the 11 and 23 Nets. But the Clippers cannot be worried about their opponents so much as they have to be concerned about themselves, having lost 2 of their last 3 after their shots stopped falling and the defense slipped in New York against the New York Knicks on Wednesday. Here was Coach Lue on a frustrating play late that might have been the difference in the ballgame.
The free throw line rebound, we had a 4-point play that made the first free throw miss to get offensive rebound. Brunson hits a 4-point play. So just those things was a little frustrating, but I thought we played a pretty solid game overall. We didn't make shots like we wanted to in the second half, and they was able to, continue to keep scoring.
Clippers have to keep their foot on the gas pedal today because while you might think the Nets are a team looking towards the draft and their future, well, meanwhile, they've been the second best defense in the league over the last 15 games. They're 8-7 during that time. The Clippers are 13 and 23 on the season. They are not in a position to look past anyone, so they'll need to execute on both ends for 48 minutes tonight. Clippers in Brooklyn from Barclays Center taking on the Nets. Tip-off just 60 minutes away. Coming up, Coach Lue will be here on the pregame show, plus Lob Murray of The Athletic. Up next, though, it's Carlo Jimenez. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to Clippers Countdown right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers in Brooklyn taking on the Nets. Tip-off is just about 58 minutes away. Coming up, we'll have Coach Lue on and Carlo Jimenez. But first, we're going back in time in Clippers Rewind back to January 6th of 2004. In theaters at the time, you had the third Lord of the Rings movie, The Return of the King, that was cleaning up at the box office. And I think it won like every Academy Award that year. Also, everywhere was Outkast's song, Hey Ya. But there was a hit on the court, too, literally, as the Clippers were then in New Jersey taking on the Nets, and things got a little bit heated.
Nets are up big as they try to remain focused before what could be extended garbage time in the fourth quarter if the score keeps up. Maggette is fouled, pushes down Martin, and Martin takes a swing. A fight breaks out between Martin and Maggette.
You might lose a couple of players. No time for that in a game like this. Sometimes just the reaction, the way things go, it's human nature.
Martin was trying to tie up Maggette. Maggette pushed, and then Martin came right back at him. And Martin's taking a walk.
No, I'm not sure there was a push there, but obviously after that, everything escalated.
And then it was taken to the next level.
You hate to see that. A good hard foul and good play by Kenyon Martin. He gets knocked down and, again, takes exception to what he felt.
I think I heard Iron Eagle there. Yeah, it was fisticuffs between Kenyon Martin and Corey Maggette. I may be biased, but I sided with Corey Maggette then. Of course, Kenyon Martin later became a Clipper himself. But both guys, pretty tough, pretty swole. It was bound to happen at some point, that face-off. That was back in 2004 of January. Coming up next, Carlo Jimenez is here, I think. Clippers in Brooklyn from Barclays Center taking on the Nets. Tip-off is just about 55 minutes away. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. The love below. Clippers in Brooklyn taking on the Nets. Tip-off just about 52 minutes away here on Clippers Countdown. I'm Adam Osland. Welcome back in. Coming up, you're going to hear from Law Murray of The Athletic, and Coach Lou will be here. But first, joining the show from Barclays Center is your radio voice of the Clippers and Carlo Jimenez. Carlo, how we doing?
Adam, it is so good to hear your voice. I'm doing good. The Clippers New York trip is a quick one this year, but it's good to be here in Brooklyn in front of the gray court. I believe it's the only court in the NBA, Adam, that is gray. I know Daniel West probably knows that off the top of his head, but I'm going to assume the only gray court in the NBA.
Yeah, it's kind of got some uniqueness to it, like that Oregon's Ducks court. But I'm not here to talk about the Ducks right now.
Oh, my goodness.
Let's talk about the Clippers, unfortunately falling Wednesday night in Madison Square Garden, 123-111. We talked about it a little bit post-game, Carlo, but just looked like the Clippers, well, they couldn't hit any shots in that fourth quarter, and the New York Knicks were not slowing down offensively.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like the Clippers hit a lull there. Kawhi Leonard talked about it post-game, but he just felt like at some point we stopped making shots, and they just continued to make shots. And New York got into the paint. They got to beat Zubac in foul trouble. That hurt the Clippers in that game, but missing 7 straight threes makes it awfully difficult to win contests. And the Clippers were unable to hit shots with consistency in that game. And it's a good New York Knicks team that's lost 4 in a row. Obviously, they're super hungry for a victory. The Clippers are just hoping to bounce back tonight against Brooklyn.
And they will have Kawhi Leonard, who is available after rolling his right ankle midway through that third quarter or just about after making a baseline jumper. And one of the things that happened in that game was he didn't look right the rest of the way. He didn't make a shot in the fourth quarter, just couldn't find that rhythm again. But it is good news. He's obviously giving it a go tonight against Brooklyn.
Yeah, I mean, Ty Lue pointed out the same thing. He felt like that once the injury happened, he didn't feel like it was the same Kawhi Leonard they had gotten beforehand. We'll see how much he goes, how long, if there's any quick spurts there for Kawhi Leonard, and what kind of the protocol is as they continue to test that ankle. I think for the Clippers, you're just glad to hear that he's able to give it a go. I mean, last time you went down with an ankle injury, we were talking 10 games that he was out. So the fact that he can 2 days later be able to give it a go seems like good news for the Clippers, and hopefully he'll be back to that elite Kawhi Leonard form that he has been the last 20 games, where he's been one of the best scorers in the NBA, averaging 37 points a game his last 9 contests.
And Big Zoo's third game back, he had 22 and 11. He was dominant out there, 11 of 14 shooting. Was cleaning up a lot of the misses by the Clippers, getting those second chance points, doing some of that dirty work.
It's a great point you bring up there, Adam, because it feels like for the Clippers, offensive rebounding hasn't been an emphasis this season. It's not something that maybe they're honed in on or something you hear about from Ty Lue on a day-to-day basis. But around the NBA, offensive rebounding is way up. And for the Clippers to be able to find consistency on the offensive glass with Ivica Zubac, I think is huge for this team. Now, also, this is a Clipper team that struggles in transition defense, so you don't want to crash the glass too much because then that puts you in a vulnerable spot. Every team in the NBA sees the Clippers, and their one goal is to speed up the game. So the Clippers have to find some sort of balance between crashing the offensive glass and then also getting back in transition defense. But Ivica Zubac with some incredible putbacks for the Clippers. He was active on that side of the ball and really forced Mike Brown to make decisions. They eventually decided, hey, we're going right at Ivica Zubac because they couldn't handle him on the offensive glass.
And then you had James Harden returning from the sore right shoulder injury. He had 23 points, just 6 of 17 from the field, 4 of 7, though, from the outside. Also struggled a little bit in that fourth quarter. He and Kawhi both combined to score just 2 points in the fourth, which if you're getting that from your superstars, you're going to have a tough time winning. But still good to see James Harden back, playing 38 minutes, moving well out there.
Yeah, it really was. It feels like if James Harden continues to find a rhythm offensively, things will open up for the Clippers offense. I thought the quick 9 points he had about a minute 30 at the end of the first quarter was strong. He's finding his teammates top 10 in the league in assists per game, so still finding his teammates, getting them involved on a nightly basis, which is impressive. And for the Clippers, look, James Harden is somebody who wants to play every single night for this Clippers team, and he's been steady every single night. You're getting 22 and 10 pretty much the entire season. It's 25.6 points per game this year is the most he's averaged since he was a Houston Rocket. And I believe Harden will find a way to get – he understands that, hey, right now Kawhi Leonard's trying to get going offensively, so I'm going to be more a distributor. When the Clippers need the offense, he will deliver that on time.
Clippers taking on the Nets from Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Carlo Jimenez on the calls. We're just about 48 minutes away from tip-off. And speaking of, Carlo's got his one-on-one conversation with the head coach and Tyronn Lue next. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to Clippers Countdown right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers and Nets from Brooklyn. Tip off just about 45 minutes away here on Clippers Countdown, the official pregame show of your LA Clippers. Coming up in just a little bit, Lon Murray will join us. But first, we got to head back over to Carlo Jimenez.
Thanks so much, Adam. Here with head coach Tyronn Lue before the Clippers take on the Brooklyn Nets. Coach, John Collins averaging 19 over his last 3 games. What have you seen that's allowed him to take that next step offensively?
I think just his energy, knack for getting offensive rebounds, putbacks, doing a great job cutting to the basket and finishing around the rim. And then he's been making his 3-point shot. Guys been finding him on the perimeter, and he's been making open threes.
The team's 4th in the NBA in turnovers per game over the last 8. You're averaging just 12 a game. What's been the key to taking care of the ball?
I don't know, but we've harped on it for the last 4 or 5 years since I've been here, just taking care of the basketball, because we've always been pretty good offensively, and so we take care of the basketball, keep teams out of transition. We have a huge advantage of winning the game. And so we talk to our team, every single night about just taking care of the basketball, winning the possession game.
Just 2 more for you, but Terrence Mann's on the other side today, and when he was traded, Lawrence Frank said he left the impact that will live on in the organization. What do you remember about his time as a Clipper?
Well, the impact he's talking about is 39 points in Game 6 against Utah Jazz to take the Clippers to their first, Western Conference or Conference Finals series. And so T-Man was great for us ever since he got here, played at every position, all 5 positions. And he was like the ultimate glue guy, and so whatever you asked him to do defensively, offensively, he was able to do it. And he was a huge part of our success, while I've been here.
Last one for you. Michael Porter Jr. is obviously a huge part of what they do. What's the key to trying to slow him down today?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just making sure we stay connected to his body. He's averaging 9 threes a game, shooting 41% from the field. And we just can't allow him to just raise up and shoot, because once he raises up and shoot, he's 6'10". You're not going to really discourage his shot. So we can't, give him miscommunication, giving up threes. We got to find him and locate him in transition. And we got to make sure we're making him put the ball on the floor, not just catch and shoot threes.
Thank you so much. Best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Coach Lue pregame there with Carlo Jimenez as we get ready for the Clippers in Brooklyn taking on the Nets. Tip-off is just about 42 minutes away. Up next, I'll give you my player to watch, and Lon Murray of The Athletic will be here. I'm Adam Osland, and this is Clippers Countdown on Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers and Nets from Brooklyn. Tip-off is just about 40 minutes away. I'm Adam Osland. It is Clippers Countdown. Coming up in just a little bit, we'll have La Murray on from The Athletic. But first,
this is LA Clippers basketball.
Watching this guy play right now is really something.
Players to watch.
watching James Harden in this ball game. After he went 6 of 17, 4 of 7 from distance, had 23 points and 9 assists to just 3 turnovers, went 7 of 7 at the charity stripe. But like Kawhi Leonard, couldn't find his shot in that fourth quarter. We'll see James Harden now in his second game back off the right shoulder soreness and what he can do. Getting a little bit more comfortable out there, perhaps. Just feeling more like himself against this Brooklyn Nets team as they've been playing good defense. Last 15 games, the Nets have the second best defense in the league. They've probably been winning more games than they would like to right now. We also talked a lot about, obviously, Michael Porter Jr. was a subject of discussion with Coach Lou and Carlo Jimenez earlier. But there's a lot to worry about with this Nets team. I need a stellar game from James Harden and game 2 back from the Bearded Wonder. Clippers in Brooklyn taking on the Nets. Tip-off is just about 37 minutes away. Coming up next, La Murray of The Athletic and your injury report. I'm Adam Osland, and this is the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers in Brooklyn taking on the Nets. Tip-off is just about 36 minutes away. I'm Adam Osland. It is Clippers Countdown, the official pregame show of your LA Clippers. Coming up, we'll have La Murray on from The Athletic. But first, your injury report. Got some good news earlier after rolling that right foot, the same one he sprained that right foot in, that ankle in, that had him missing 10 games earlier in the season with Kawhi Leonard. Rolled it on a fan backing up on a made jumper on the right baseline on Wednesday against the Knicks. He was questionable earlier today. Kawhi Leonard is available for this ball game. We will see if he's on a minutes restriction or not. As for the Brooklyn Nets, they are without Haywood Highsmith, recovering from right knee surgery still. Michael Porter Jr., though, was dealing with some right knee soreness, and he is available in this ball game. And he's been a bucket all season long, has been able to scale up his offensive repertoire, now being the number one option for a Brooklyn Nets team that is sorely in need of his scoring. Clippers taking on the Nets. Tip-off is just about 35 minutes away. Coming up next, La Murray of The Athletic is here. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to Clippers Countdown right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Get to law. Tip-off between the Clippers and Brooklyn Nets is just about 32 minutes away. I'm Adam Osland. Coming up, we'll have Law Murray on the show, but I do want to get to an NBA out-of-town scoreboard here as the Clippers get set for game 2 of this 3-game road trip, one of the early games tipping off in the NBA. Later tonight is the Portland Trail Blazers taking on the Rockets at home. Good contest there. Kevin Durant hits a game winner, misses another one. They had a late tip-in with Tari Eason, didn't count. But that Rockets team still 22-12. Blazers at 18-20. Golden State Warriors welcoming in their NorCal rival in the Sacramento Kings later tonight. Steph Curry still getting 29 per game at the age of 37, 38 now. The Phoenix Suns, who were the victims of that game winner by KD a few days ago, they're back home taking on the New York Knicks, who the Clippers lost to on Wednesday. Suns at 22-15. Devin Booker's getting 25 and 6 assists per ball game. Denver Nuggets will see the Atlanta Hawks at home a little bit later. Nuggets all kinds of beat up right now. It's basically just Jamal Murray out there trying to run the show, but he's doing a pretty good job with 25 points per game. Looks like he's going to be an all-star this season. 8 assists as well. And then it's the OKC Thunder in Memphis taking on the Grizzlies in just a little bit here. Clippers in Brooklyn taking on the Nets. Up next, we will get to Law Murray of The Athletic. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers taking on the Brooklyn Nets from Barclays Center. Tip-off is just about 28 minutes away. Welcome back. I'm Adam Moslem. This is Clippers Countdown, the official pregame show of your LA Clippers. Coming up, back to Carlo Jimenez. But right now, from The Athletic, La Murray. At La Murray, the NU is where you find him. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for being on the road with this squad right now, my friend.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. Glad to be outside of LA for once.
Let's talk about the New York Knicks game a little bit on Wednesday night. Clippers would fall late. They were right there. It was a 3-point game. Really, they were up 4 with about 3.5 minutes left in that third quarter, and things flipped a little bit. Where was that game lost in your mind?
I don't think the Clippers got stops in the second half, especially. I mean, first half, they defended decently enough. But second half, the Knicks kept scoring, and there was a stretch there where the Clippers couldn't score. They couldn't make threes. And that was pretty much the game. And obviously, you saw Kawhi when he got hurt. It was his 10th bucket of the game, and it was a go-ahead field goal in the middle of the third quarter. He subs out the next dead ball. It was a 3-point game entering the fourth quarter when Kawhi came back in, and Kawhi couldn't get buckets anymore. And I think there was a stretch where the Clippers missed 13 out of 16 threes. So that provided the separation that the Knicks needed. And I think the issue is threefold. You got to get stops at some point. It wasn't just about Jalen Brunson. In fact, I would argue Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns didn't hurt them as much as the other Knicks players hurt them. The Knicks got buckets pretty much no matter who was on the floor, and I thought it was even better when Brunson was off the floor in particular. Number two, obviously, Kawhi getting hurt. Kawhi was killing these dudes, and then he wasn't killing them anymore. And then three, the shots were there. I thought that the Clippers got good shots. The Knicks were packing the paint, and they were overplaying the stars. And when those shots didn't fall and the Knicks were able to get stops, that was pretty much it for the Clippers. They couldn't keep up offensively on a night where defensively they weren't very good.
What did you make of Ivica Zubac and his play in just his third game back with that 22 and 11 and some much-needed offensive rebounds?
Yeah, the Zoo did a good job of the second chance scoring. And when Karl-Anthony Towns was playing irritated the whole game, but he was staying on the perimeter and playing relatively passive, the version of Karl-Anthony Towns that gets his team's beat. But there was a play in the third quarter where I just turned and looked and was like, Cat's going to play for fouls now. He's going to play the draw fouls. And there was a very aggressive move that Cat made to the basket. And next thing you know, Zoo's in foul trouble. He's got to sub out. And the Clippers started to lose control of the game then. The way Cat started the fourth quarter with a 3-point play through there's and then a putback where Mikal Bridges missed a three. Cat gets an offensive rebound. He finds his way into a reverse layup. That forced a timeout. That comes with Jalen Brunson off the floor. That extends a 3-point game to an 8-point game, and that was it. So I think Zoo played really well when he was out there. They need Zoo to stay out there. It's hard going up against a Cat who is focused. Like the Knicks were already playing desperate basketball because they had been on a losing streak. Cat went from not starting that game off very well to being determined to be the talented A1 version of player that he is. And it's Zoo is pretty frustrated with the fouls, but it's a good sign that a week in he's able to put up the numbers that he was able to put up.
Talking with La Murray of The Athletic. While we have a moment, though, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Law, nothing dirty on the play where Kawhi Leonard rolled his ankle. He just kept backing up till he was basically in the first row there, unfortunately. But did you hear anything pregame about if there's going to be a minutes restriction on him or anything?
I didn't hear anything about that. I mean, obviously it was a game time decision, but I don't think minutes is the issue. Kawhi was out here. I don't remember a time Kawhi Leonard warmed up for a game and trying to test out whether he could play or not. The fact that he was out here was a good sign. The fact that he's going is a good sign. The fact that it's the front end of a back-to-back, knowing that the second game is a much more challenging game is a good sign. Obviously, we got to get through this game before we can even think about what his status would be after a flight to Detroit. But yeah, I don't really. It's not like his conditioning is bad. Like the minute restriction needs to be take care of the Nets as soon as possible so that you can get yourself, with as much rest as you possibly can before flying to Michigan.
And talking about Kawhi and some stuff off the court, we got a new episode from Pablo Torre a little bit earlier today, and Pablo Torre finds out, speaking about the situation with Aspiration. I don't know if you saw it, but do you have any intel?
Nope, haven't seen the episode. So
have you heard any buzz at all, or just have a feeling on when we're going to get the verdict on this, when the NBA is going to make their ruling?
Nope, I have not. Pretty much for me, it's the same as if we were talking 2 days ago. So we're in January. All I know is we got All-Star and Intuit Dome next month, and that's not going to be something where Pablo or anyone else controls it. Like it's not even a thing where the NBA can control it. He's under investigation, and until that investigation concludes, we're in the same spot now as we were when it started.
Because we got a little bit of trade movement with Trae Young being sent to D.C., and then we saw Anthony.
Didn't you ask me about Trae Young a week ago?
You were all over it. You knew he was going
earlier this week. That's what it was.
Yeah. So Trae Young goes there. John Morant is supposedly available, like we didn't already know that. And Anthony Davis now could be out for months with ligament damage to his left hand. Do you think there's a chance, because I've seen people throw this around, that means Ivica Zubac could have an even higher price for any teams that are coming after him?
If you want to look at it like that, sure. I mean, the thing with Zoo's a valuable contract. He's a good player with multiple years left on his deal at a position that could obviously help some teams out. Looking at these other stars get moved, I mean, I think there's just other situations that make their value what their value is, So for me, the bottom line with Zoo is that he's a really valuable piece to the Clippers. If the Clippers wanted to part ways with a center, I think you would have to look at why they would want to do that. When it comes to Brook Lopez, a guy who is under team control for pretty much just this year because he has a team option for next year, and obviously Brook's in the phase of his career that he's in, but has shown that he can be a viable fill-in starter, whether it's for the Clippers or somebody else. I think you got to look at that. I think Brook would be a guy who is gettable, but when you look at Zoo, it's like, all right, you can trade Zoo if you want to, but that would hurt the Clippers. They're not getting anything back that would help them. Like, yeah, they won some games with Zoo out, and they have a young player that they're developing and an old player who could fill in. So if the Clippers win that direction, then it's like, all right, get what you can get for a player like him. But then you're pretty much having to look for a new center next year anyway, even if you think Giannis is ready or something like that, which I don't think Giannis is ready for starters minutes. He showed that he's an NBA player. That's where we're at right now. So I don't look at tying Ivica Zubac's value to whatever the heck is going on with Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is hurt. I mean, it's a day that ends in Y. So that's just what it is with Anthony Davis. Like if a team wanted Anthony Davis, look, he was hurt when he got traded last year. So I don't think that's the thing about it is like if you want Anthony Davis on your team and you want to deal with that contract situation, I don't really see how him getting hurt changes a whole lot. Like you're getting an injury-prone player already. So and you're probably playing for next year. There's a lot of teams that's the case for. That's the case for the team that just got Trae Young. Trae Young's hurt. But now Trae Young's going to be more hurt because he just went to Washington. It's like Brandon Ingram when he went to Toronto. It's like Brandon Ingram had an ankle sprain, but when he got to Toronto, that thing hurt for the rest of the season. That was the part of the plan.
Yeah. So I did ask you last week about Trae Young, that the Clippers would have some interest, and you rightfully pointed out you didn't think that would be the case. Same thing with John Morant being available. Doesn't fit this Clippers team?
No, because I just look at the player that we're talking about. Like, John Morant would be great for people who don't watch John Morant play basketball, And that's a lot of people who wind up buying tickets or tuning in. So, that fits that part of things. But it's like if you want to be good and if you want to improve your team and you want to have the kind of team that can support those star players, you're not trading for John Morant. John Morant again, I like Ja. You know, personally, I like Ja, and I want him to be good. But Ja is a player. It's like watching Russell Westbrook if Russell Westbrook didn't try. Like that's Ja these days. So Ja's shooting is not where it needs to be for a player who's not as effective going to the basket as he used to be. And clearly, Ja has a way of saying, I want to play a certain type of way with the ball in my hands. And then the defense part of things, like Ja's defensively, he's a small guard, not one who is particularly known for being disruptive. If you're going to be a small guard, and I learned this from a certain small guard who used to wear number 3 for this Clippers team, you got to be really good at the skill set part of things, like really good, really elite. Otherwise, you're going to have holes that are just hard to overcome, and I'm pretty sure all these teams in the league are understanding of that.
Do you think that's been a little bit of a sea change the last few years where teams are smartening up with the analytics, with the efficiency, with seeing, okay, John Morant's down 20% in his rim attacks now. He's not the same guy anymore. Do you think all that information has changed the NBA?
No, I really don't. I think guys just haven't been as good, you know? Like Trae Young was really good before his lower body maladies sapped some of his ability. John Morant's been hurt, and, like, that dude has hit the floor hundreds of times. Like, after a while, that stuff piles up. It's like a good running back who kills you in his rookie deal, and as soon as somebody pays him, he starts looking like, you know, he starts looking worse. So, you know, I'm not going to give these front offices any kind of credit. Like, let's see what happens next month, and we can go from there.
All right, fair enough. He's La Murray of The Athletic. Follow him at La Murray, the NU. He's covering the Clippers on this road trip. He's in Brooklyn as we get set for the Clippers taking on the Nets. La, appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming on pregame again.
Hey, thank you. Enjoy the games.
Coming up next, we will get to Carlo Jimenez. I'm Adam Moslin as we're 16 minutes away from tip-off at Barclays Center. Clippers and Nets, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers taking on the Nets from Barclays Center. Tip-off is just about 13 minutes away. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Osland. It is Clippers Countdown coming up. We'll get to your keys to victory. But first, back out to your radio voice of the Clippers in Carlo Jimenez. Carlo Jimenez here, unless you just gave me the 2-minute mark. I'll be back in 2.
No, no. I said
that was the Scissor Gang.
That was
the
a
peace
fight
sign.
On, actually. Yeah,
Fight on. Are they playing today? Or?
Fight for you. You want me to keep going?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Win forever. Let's talk about this Brooklyn Nets team. Some thought they were in lose forever mode, but their defense has been spectacular over the last month. They've been one of the best defensive teams in the league. How have they been able to do it, Carlo?
Yeah, I mean, it's really Jordi Fernandez setting the culture that if you don't play defense, you're not going to play. And that's what he has told the young guys. They've got 5 first-round draft picks on this Brooklyn Nets team, and defense has been a non-negotiable for everyone in this group. Now, their oldest player is Terrence Mann, who's sitting at the ripe age of 29. So you got a lot of young guys trying to prove their way. And with all that internal competition at them, it leads to guys just having to play defense or else they're not going to see the floor.
This Clippers team taking on a Nets team that now has rejuvenated and a scaled-up version of Michael Porter Jr., who's become a first option. Look, if this guy didn't have 2 back surgeries before he came out of college and then had 1 more before he eventually joined the Denver Nuggets a year after being drafted, he probably was the number 1 pick for a reason. He was getting Kevin Durant-like comps, and you're starting to see that part of his game. Granted, it's with a team that doesn't have a winning record right now, but they are better with him out there on the floor, and it's been impressive watching him so far this season, Carlo.
100%, Adam. I mean, he talked about it too recently, saying, look, when you're on championship contenders, everyone has to make some sort of sacrifice, but now he's on a team where he can kind of do what he would like because they need help on the offensive end, and Michael Porter Jr. just continues to have an excellent season. Since the start of December 1st, he's averaging almost 29 points a game, and he's the only player in the league hitting 40% of his threes while taking at least 9 a contest. So you talk about high volume, high efficiency, and that leads to just an elite skill set. Michael Porter Jr. is on his way to what many should believe is an all-star selection for the Brooklyn Nets, which I don't think many people thought would happen coming into this season, but he's been that good for Brooklyn.
Let's go back to the Clippers. Kawhi Leonard giving it a go in this ball game. So you would hope that it wasn't anything that serious. He had 1 day off. He is back now. It was the same foot that he sprained, the same ankle that he turned a little bit earlier this season that had him missing 10 games. But the severity of it can't be too concerning to Clipper Nation right now, I would say, Carlo, considering he's already back the very next game.
Yeah, you feel like if Kawhi Leonard feels like he can give it a go the next day, that's got to be good news for this Clippers team. And hopefully that leads to a great performance from Kawhi Leonard because the Clippers are going to need not only his offense, but his NBA leading 2.2 steals per game on the defensive side of the ball. So you hope for the Clippers, Kawhi's all good to go, and you can take care of business. If you remember, Adam, these two teams faced off last season in LA. It was the largest Clipper win in franchise history. They won that game 126-67. I don't expect it to be like that here tonight, but the Clippers have to come in with the same mindset they had in that contest, and that's just with an aggressive attitude. You're coming off a loss against the New York Knicks. You got a tough Detroit team tomorrow night. If you're able to have a business-like approach to this game, that can help you out on the second night of a back-to-back.
So this Clippers team, unfortunately, couldn't close things out against the Knicks, who pulled away from them in that 4th quarter. And, you see both sides of the young guys sometimes. Kobe Sanders has been very good for them overall, got the start without James Harden a few games ago, made the most of it. But then early in that 4th quarter, he, Jordan Miller, and even an older vet, and Nico Batum just couldn't hit shots from the outside. And sometimes it's that simple, make or miss league. But still good experience for the young guys in that spot, Carlo, where the next time around, they'll see those shots fall eventually.
Yeah, it feels like if you're the Clippers, you got good looks from your young guys. Ty Lue always talks about getting the right shots, right offensive process, and the Clippers had good process in their last game. They were able to get great looks on the offensive end. They were able to generate quality options for this group and just unable to hit shots when they needed to. I think what's been most impressive is the Clippers being able to adjust, right? You couldn't hit shots in that 3rd quarter, so they went into Ivica Zubac, and if Big Zoo doesn't get in foul trouble late in that game, who knows? It might be a different story. The Clippers just were unable to have him on the hardwood simply because they couldn't risk him fouling out of the game. I mean, it was a 9-point game with about 3 minutes left. The Clippers had a chance, but just unable to hang on. The biggest thing for the Clippers, Adam, is can you find a way to not turn the ball over against Brooklyn and really take care of it on the offensive end? You can't give away easy looks, easy opportunities for your opponent. You have to find a way to handle the basketball well, which the Clippers have done really, really well in recent games.
I like that answer from Coach Lou. I'm not even sure why we've been taking care of the ball so well, but he likes it. He's here for it. All right, my player to watch in this ball game, a guy who has a big part or a big role in that, James Harden, my player to watch, Carlo, in his second game back.
Is that allowed?
You've taken him multiple times.
Check the rule book. Check the rule book.
I checked Joey Kimball's little Rolodex or whatever he's got, taking notes.
Yeah,
in.
and what does it look like?
I believe you've taken James Harden twice this season. Now this is the second time I've taken him. So we're even.
Okay, so you're saying like you're good because I did it. Okay.
There is something to that as well. Who's your
Yeah.
player to watch that I'm going to steal from eventually next?
Yeah, Kawhi Leonard's my player to watch tonight. I one up you. I raise you one more. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to go John Collins. 19 points a game his last 3 games. Feel like he's been efficient outside. I'd like to see John Collins have 28 today.
28?
28.
Ooh, that would be his Clippers high then. Okay. He's ready. He's been peaking. He's been playing well for some time now during the Clippers winning streak, and since Ivica Zubac has come back as well here. Clippers with Big Zoo taking on the Brooklyn Nets, and Kawhi Leonard is available. Tip-off is just about 7 minutes away. Carlo Jimenez is on the call. Coming up next, we'll get your keys to victory right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. The crook from the brook. Clippers in Brooklyn taking on the Nets. Tip-off is just 4 minutes away with Carlo Jimenez. Let's get to your keys to victory in this one. Talked about him a lot, but Michael Porter Jr. is having a stellar season. He deserves to be talked about. He has scaled up his game. He has been able to increase the production, increase the scoring highs across the board. And we weren't sure because he had been next to Nikola Jokic for so long. What would happen if you put Michael Porter Jr. on a team where he was more of a focal point? Well, 26 points per game while keeping the efficiency. In fact, he's shooting better from 3 this season at 41% than he did last season with Denver at 39%. Plus, he's getting a career high 7.5 boards per game. He's getting a steal per game out there. This is a guy who's coming into his own at the age of 27 now and starting to show some of that potential we saw coming out of Missouri, where you knew he was a lethal shooter and a great talent if he could just stay healthy. Now went through multiple back surgeries in college, then had one after he was drafted by the Denver Nuggets, lost a ton of time, and has missed a significant amount of time early in his career, but is also an NBA champion and a guy that stepped up in a big way in 2023 for the Denver Nuggets and helped them get over the top against the Miami Heat in the NBA Finals. But seeing what he's doing right now, you got to make him a focal point of slowing him down if you're the Clippers tonight, because you look at the shooting splits and just what he's been doing in victories for this Brooklyn Nets team that is playing much better on the defensive end. Well, in wins, his scoring goes up. More is more. It is not less is more with Michael Porter Jr. In wins, he's getting 29 points per game. In losses, 24. In wins, he's shooting 53% from the field. In losses, he's shooting 47% from the field. In wins, 46% from three. Losses, 38% from the outside. The numbers are good even in losses, but in their 11 victories so far this season, he's been outrageous. He has been playing like an all-star. That's the head of the snake. That's the guy you got to find a way to stop if you're the Clippers in this ball game, or you could be in for a slugfest against the Brooklyn Nets, who the Clippers, again, they can't overlook anybody with a record of 13-23 right now. They're not in that position. They have to take every opponent seriously, and especially one that has been playing such good defense. The last 15 games, again, Brooklyn has been the second best defense in the league. For a month, they were the best, ahead of Oklahoma City. Now they're just behind them over the last 15 games. So it's a team that has turned the corner defensively, and they have enough firepower when Michael Porter Jr. is on one to hang offensively. Slow down Michael Porter Jr., find a way to get some easy buckets in transition for the Clippers in this ball game. Eliminate those buckets from the Brooklyn Nets here. Clippers and Nets, there's your key to victory. And we got Carlo Jimenez coming up next from Barclays Center for tip-off. I'm Adam Osland, and you've been listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.